Hello painting friends! I'm having a great painting day and I hope you are too. I've added another element to the design so I can show you what I call pat blending. You can see I'm running out of room on my demo sheet, and that would be because of poor planning, so I had to paint a short fat crock instead of a full-sized one, but I think we'll get along okay about that. Now with pat blending, there's no actual rule about what color to apply first, but I usually start with a medium value and then I go up and down in value from there. However, you do have to have a plan where to put what colors and what values. So let's talk about this crock. We would have the light on this piece. The light is coming more or less from the upper right hand side. So this part of the crock is going to be the lightest area right here. It's a cylinder, and so we're not going to put the light right up to the edge because the edge turns. So we want to keep our lightest value right in this area. We'll have a medium value as the crock turns towards the back here and here. Then the part of the crock that has the least amount of light showing on it would be this area right here. So we just have to have a plan before we start, and then we can place the colors down wherever, in whatever order we want, and we'll be repeating the colors and the values anyway. I like to use either a round, an oval or a flat Bringle blender depending on the shape and the size of the element, and I like to use a little bit of magic mix in the brush. So I'll get my magic mix and my blending palette up here. So I'm going to use my oval blender to paint this. I'm going to pick up a little bit of magic mix from my little cup of magic mix, and I probably just dipped in a little too much, so I'm going to blot some out. Blend that into my brush. I've got three values mixed up for my crock, and I'm going to start with the medium value. It's kind of generally what I do, but it isn't absolutely necessary. It's just a place to start. I'll start today with my medium value, and I want to mix that into my brush on my palette. So I've picked it up off of my wet palette, and I'll mix it into my brush on my dry palette. I want to have quite a bit of paint in my brush to start with, so that it'll stay wet as long as possible. So here on this, on what I've designated as my medium value area, I'm going to lay this on. I want to carefully make sure I get out to the edge and cover up my pattern lines as I'm doing this. Whoops, covered up quite a bit of pattern lines there. And I'm just going to move this paint over, blend it over a little bit. I'm going to blot my brush. I'm going to pick up my light value, and wherever I've designated my light value, I'm going to set that down quite heavy and just pat that color on. I'm going to blot my brush, and where these two colors meet, I'm just going to do a little light patting. If your paint dries up before you get it to mix together right there, add a little bit more. Blot your brush. I'm picking up my medium value again, and just pat those two together, wet into wet. Okay, I'm going to continue with just a little bit more of my light and medium value right in here, right up next to the pear. That's my medium value, and I'll just pat that into my light value. Then I'm going to pick up my dark value. I want to set this pear down on the table, so I'll pick up a little bit of my dark value, place that right along that bottom edge of the crock. Did I say pear before? I meant crock, of course. And just, it doesn't matter which direction you go, you're just kind of patting gently to work the colors together. I want to create a little more light value right up next to the pear, and of course you won't be in a hurry, so you'll be able to do this very tidy, and you'll probably have your glasses on so you'll be able to see it a little better. Okay, then I'm going to pick up my dark value again, and this is my dark value area right here. So I'm going to lay that on fairly heavy and walk it over a little bit into my medium value. Blot my brush. Now right in here where my light value has dried up, I'm going to pick up some more light value, place that right there, blot my brush. I'm going to pick up a little more magic mix. I'm feeling like it's drying pretty fast in my warm room today. A little bit more magic mix in the brush will help to keep it open a little bit longer. Okay, so patting. Now I still need to move a little bit of dark value down close to the pear. So I'll pick up a little more magic mix. Remember, I'm going to point the tip of my brush to the edge, place the color, blot the brush, and then gently pat those together. A little more magic mix in my brush, and I'm going to pick up my medium value for that far left edge of the crock. Place that. We've got this little bear ear here, which we'll probably have to clean up after the crock gets painted. And we'll put this medium value in. Anything that gets messed up can easily be corrected. If you're designing as you go along, like I did on this piece, you can't always do the back things first because I added it after. So there's my dark value. Okay, so it's looking a little bit choppy right now. So I'm going to pick up a little more magic mix. And I'm thinking that I probably need a little more medium value right in here between my dark and my light. So I'll just place that down, blot my brush, and then gently blend those two together. Now remember what my technique is. This is only the beginning. I paint in layers. So it's not going to look just right now. The other thing to consider is that on a camera, the light is going to be very, very light. So it's probably going to look lighter to you than it does to me. Okay, now for the top edge or the rim of the crock, I'm going to pick up medium value. I'm going to go down to a small round Bringle blender, put my medium value in here, and a little more medium value over here on this side. Just place that in there. A little bit of magic mix. I'm going to pick up my dark value now, and I want to place that right along with the dark value that's on the body of the crock. Then medium value again, and I can't really get my hands moved around there, but I'll put my medium value over here on this end. Then I'm going to pick up my light value, place that right in line here. Okay, now let's dry this real quickly so that I can add a few more little details to it, and you'll see where it Okay, this is dry to the touch, and once it's dry, you'll see that you can then do some stippling if you want to. I'm going to pick up my light value. You can do some dry stippling. So let's go into this lightest area and dry stipple and dry rub to create a bit more of a highlight. Remember, you're going to load your brush, stipple it into the brush, blot it on your cloth, and then stipple and dry rub that into place. Once that's dry to the touch, we can do a little bit of magic floating. So I'm going to do the magic mix in my oval brush, pick up my dark value. I can put some dark value right along underneath the rim of the crock and work that so that I've got some shadow coming in there from the rim. I can also pick up a dark value, place that back here next to the pear, blot my brush, and then just gently blend that. Just remember, your surface has to be dry to do these techniques on top. A little more magic floating here. Now you could, even if you were really going to try to create a very realistic looking crock, you could even glaze this crock with a dark color. Do the whole thing, glaze it down, and then start bringing the light back up again like we did on the pear. If I didn't get quite enough medium value on the far left hand side, so I'll add a little bit more with a magic float. Just put that in place, and then I'll let this dry completely, and I'll work on it a little bit more when I know that it's very, very dry. And then I'll add any decoration to the crock that I want to put on there, and I'll clean up the edges like I did before. So now you know what I mean by pat blending. Thanks for watching.